About 50 years ago, on August 10, 1964, President Lyndon Johnson signed the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution, which in lieu of a declaration of war gave him broad powers to wage war in Southeast Asia. That resolution was passed by Congress in response to an August 2nd attack and an alleged August 4th incident in the Gulf of Tonkin involving U.S. destroyers and Vietnamese torpedo boats. American History TV visited the National Security Archive at George Washington University to learn about numerous declassified documents that have shed more light on the Gulf of Tonkin incidents.
I'm Tom Blanton. I'm the director of the National Security Archive, and we're here on the top floor of the main library of George Washington University, which is where we live. And we're in a room full of boxes of declassified documents, and it's really an artifact because most of the declassified documents we get today are actually digital. What's fascinating now that we can look through the historians' work, the inside historians' work, the actual texts of the intercepts of the North Vietnamese conversations, and then listen to President Johnson's phone calls as he's talking with Secretary of Defense McNamara, and begin to understand two huge realities that were not known to the public at the time. One, that the North Vietnamese attacks on the 2nd of August 1964 were actually provoked by us. They weren't the unprovoked aggression that was presented to the American public as the basis for our bombing back. That in fact we were running all these secret patrols, the so-called DeSoto patrols, top secret, to test coastal defenses, to figure out how the North Vietnamese radar worked, to see how they would respond, and to intercept their communications among their Haiphong naval headquarters and their actual torpedo boats on the coast as part of an ongoing pressure on the North Vietnamese. And so their attacks on our boats on the 2nd of August were presented as unprovoked aggression when actually we had provoked them. So this was one of the big secrets. The President knew it, the Defense Secretary knew it. We've got him on tape talking about it. Oh, Plan 34, McNamara says. You know, that this certainly had something to do with that attack, and President Johnson knows about it.
I think I should also, or we should also at that time, Mr. President, explain this Op Plan 34A, these covert operations. And there's no question but what that had bearing on it. And Friday night, as you probably know, we had 4 TP boats from Vietnam, manned by Vietnamese or other nationals, attacked 2 islands, and we expended 1,000 rounds of ammunition of one kind or another against them. We probably shot up a radar station and a few other miscellaneous buildings, and following 24 hours after that with this destroyer in that same area undoubtedly led them to connect the two events.
Well, say that to Dirksen, and you notice Dirksen.
During the 2nd of August attacks, there was a ton of electronic intelligence and signals intelligence in between the boats, with directing them all the way through the period of the attack and the withdrawal and the damage to the ships. During the 4th of August, at the very moment you have the destroyers reporting torpedoes in the water, there's no electronic signaling. There's no communications being picked up, coordinating these attacks. The summary, which the top policymakers use, we sacrificed 2 ships and all the rest are okay. In the original, we sacrificed 2 comrades, but all are brave and recognize our obligation. So when you go back to the original, you see the word comrades. When you go to the summaries prepared after, you see the word boats. 2 comrades becomes 2 boats. 2 boats sounds like a huge attack took place. 2 comrades, we now believe, are people who were wounded on the 2nd of August, not shot on the 4th of August. There was no attack on the 4th of August. So you can, it's by going back and looking at these originals, which is what the National Security Agency should have done at the time, but didn't. Instead, they prepared a chronology that would show irrefutably what the President had said on national television.
The initial attack on the destroyer Maddox on August 2nd was repeated today by a number of hostile vessels attacking 2 U.S. destroyers with torpedoes.